A federal grand jury indictment has been handed down to none other than New Jersey Representative LaMonica, you know I love saying that, McIver, LaMonica McIver. She's in deep, deep trouble because you know what? She's facing up to 17 years in federal prison. This is a big freaking deal, you guys. Like, I mean, you don't do this. You don't do what LaMonica did. Okay, it is not acceptable. And you know what? This is all alleged at this point, but we've seen the tape, and the tape is kind of, well, the tape kind of speaks for itself, right? She's the lady in red, and you can see she's muscling her way through the Delancey Immigration Detention Center where they were housing criminal migrants. She went in to pay a visit, which she said is part of her job. Apparently you are supposed to make an appointment, but not according to Monica. She loved Monica. She wanted to go in there and immediately gain access. And the feds told her no. ICE was there on the scene and she kept pushing her way through. And let's just say, it's not pretty. Wow. Okay, so that is our gal LaMonica, as you can see her in red, trying to make her way there through the crowd. And it did not go, dare I say, it did not go very well for her because the upshot of this was that Alina Habba was all over it. And Alina Habba is no joke. Alina Habba said, you know what, you're going to pay the price for this. I'm bringing you in. I'm also bringing in the mayor of Newark, New Jersey. And she brought in the mayor, but you know, the mayor was actually willing to play ball a bit. The mayor was willing to talk with her and acquiesce a little bit. And because he was willing to do that, he kind of got off the hook. And so he's not paying the price the way, say, one LaMonica is having to pay the price. And believe me, guys, this is what you call a big, big deal. I mean, she could be looking at, how do you have a congressperson that is being indicted on these federal assault charges? This is, I want to show you another clip from right before I think things got really, really heated. It was just after the Newark mayor had been arrested and she got really, really out in everybody's face and she's yelling into the microphone about this, that, and the other. And the irony of this situation is that every time she tries to say something, the train goes, wah! And it's just kind of poetic.
Administration is trying to restrict Congress from doing their bare duties and the responsibilities that the people have elected us to do. What we just witnessed was just disgusting. I am very upset. I am very angry, and I am very hurt that they could be able to do something like that to us. These are people who are supposed to be officers, who are supposed to protect us, and they have done none of that. If they can treat 3 members of Congress like that, just imagine how they can treat people on the street each and every day, both undocumented and people who are citizens here in this country. It makes absolutely no sense to arrest the mayor of the largest city of this state who did nothing wrong.
Okay. I just had to play it for you because she's trying to get her message out there. And it's like, you know, the universe must be conspiring against you, LaMonica, because how else could you possibly have been indicted on 3 counts? I mean, I'll tell you how you were indicted. You pushed your way through the crowd and, well, you know, even the president noticed, shall we say, even the president noticed that that was not what you would call proper behavior, especially for a representative. I know you're new, but a representative for you from U.S. Congress from New Jersey,
That woman was out of control. She was shoving federal agents. She was out of control. The days of that crap are over in this country. We're going to have law and order.
Imagine that. We are going to have law and order. And so all this relates back to California, and we'll get into that in just a moment. But first, consider what this woman is up against. She is being charged on this violation of Title 18, U.S. State Code, Section 111A1 for assaulting, impeding, and interfering with law enforcement. And now she faces 17 years in prison. Oh, AOC is mad. She already said, don't you dare come after my peeps. Tom Homan, Alina Habba, the rest of you. Looks like they're coming after him. AOC, not sure what you're going to do about it now.
If anyone's breaking the law in this situation, it's not members of Congress, it's the Department of Homeland Security. It's people like Tom Homan and Secretary Kristi Noem. You lay a finger on them, we are going to have a problem.
You might have a little problem then. Just a little one. Because as I've said before, the federal government has all the jurisdiction here. She didn't have the right to show up unannounced and try and muscle, what else are you going to call it, right? Muscle her way in. She couldn't actually do that. And when Alina gave her a chance to, acquiesce and plead to something, or at least, have a conversation, she wouldn't do it, remember? And she went on Jen Psaki's show on MSNBC and said this.
Well, Habba said you had declined every opportunity to come to a resolution. You said they wanted you to admit to something you didn't do. What did they want you to admit to?
There was a lot. We've had a week of back and forth with them, and I will say that I did not waver. I showed up there to do my job, and she wanted me to admit to doing things, all of these different lists of things that she said that I did.
Like what?
From things of impeding,
I don't know, like that little impeding thing when you were kind of forcing your way through the crowd, bumping yourself into ICE officers. Apparently the feds have way, way worse video.
There's some other things in there that she put in there, but I can't remember exactly what it was, but she wanted me to admit to these things, sign an agreement to them, and I'm not doing that.
No, she's not doing that. She's LaMonica McIver. She has no regrets about any of this. Okay, no regrets. In fact, the fact that she showed no remorse, I suspect, is partly what got her into this trouble in the first place. The fact that she wasn't willing to play ball or have a conversation with Alina. Alina actually, I know her, and she's a nice person, okay? And she's a forgiving person. And you look what happened with the Newark mayor. A lot of people were mad about that. They were like, she should have thrown the book at him too. But she didn't. She didn't throw the book at him because he actually worked with her. And this one, on the other hand, they had this video of, and she wasn't willing to. And you know what? She went on CNN like the next day and clearly expressed this no regrets agenda. Listen.
Congresswoman, earlier in the show, Republican Congressman Warren Davidson was on with my colleague John Berman, and John asked him about the charge that you're now facing. He said he wasn't entirely sure of everything involved in the case or the charge, but he did say this. I want to play this for you.
So anytime, one party goes after another, it's viewed as political. But I think the principle has to be that no one really is above the law. I hope they work it out. And, I hope we resolve things in a place that's rational. It seems crazy to me that you've got members of Congress and some of the public, but not much, certainly not in my district, defending MS-13 gang members. They're not here legally. I think the mandate in this election is they need to leave.
Just wondering, as you can respond to the congressman there, but also having time and space to think about what happened on that day and reflect on it, would you have done anything differently?
Wait for it.
No, I would not have. Once again, we showed up there to do a job, Kate. We were there for an oversight visit. We have done this before. Me, Congresswoman Bonnie Watson-Coleman, and Congressman Rob Menendez was just at a facility just a couple of weeks ago, not too far from this location, where we had an oversight visit, and we were a little bit delayed, but not, confronted or was in the middle of a chaos to do so. I think, number one, we have an obligation to do so. We have to show up and do our jobs. And at the end of the day, the reason why we were there is because
I don't understand how that was doing your job, okay? Again, I think you know better too. And Alina knows better too. And so this is one of the things that Alina initially put out as she was charging this woman, or bringing forward charges. And again, just confirming that late last night, we got word that the grand jury had handed down that indictment in the LaMonica McIver case. So again, very, very big big deal. And there are going to be people like AOC saying, oh, you know, this is so unfair and this is so wrong and this is just Trump and fascism. And it's like, no, guys, like you actually can't do what you were doing. And I don't know as we want to live in a world where Congress people, just because they're Congress people, can show up and get away with that. So anyway, she had put this out, and this is back on May 19th. She said, look, the citizens of New Jersey deserve united leadership to get the work done that we need to get done to keep our state safe. The dismissal against the mayor is not the end of this matter, however, because then she brings up LaMonica McIver, who insulted, she said, impeded and interfered with law enforcement. This is all alleged, of course, but it was on the tape, of Title 18, a violation of Title 18, Code Section 111A1. This is what I was just showing you. And she said that, you know what, this is a violation of her constitutional duties and obligation to ensure that our federal law enforcement is protected. She has to do that when executing their duties. So basically, you know what? LaMonica, it is big trouble for you. I don't think you're going to fare so well in federal prison. I mean, I just don't think, I don't think you're cut out for it. I mean, hey, I don't know, you know, you get the slamming thing down, maybe you'll be just fine. Ooh. So, you know, I know a lot of you guys are like, oh, it's not going to happen. They're not going to do anything. But listen, they just moved forward with the grand jury indictment. So that is a big, big, big deal.